Hi, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
I'm Brad Heineke, physical therapist.
Together, I never gets old. And together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Well, in our opinion.
Yeah. And you know, Brad's going to be back eventually, the real Brad. He's just taking care of some patients today. So for all you old women out there that miss Brad, now we got something for the young eyes, you know. So, all right, today we're going to talk about how to test whether or not your hip flexors are tight. This is kind of a cool test, Mike, because I think a lot of people don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
So, called the Thomas test, and I think it's also called the Thomas stretch when you stretch it that way. So Mike, once you get into position here, you need to basically go off the end of a table or end of a, you maybe can do it off the edge of a bed, but I think you can do it off the edge of a bed. Yeah, a little squishy. So we're testing whether or not the hip flexor is tight on this side. So Mike's already doing, he's pulling this leg up, and as he pulls this up, as you can see, this leg is actually raising up. Put it down once, Mike. See how that goes down? Now pull it up. So that means that hip flexor is tight. Now, the hip flexors actually cross two joints. It crosses this joint and it crosses this joint. One of the muscles anyway, the rectus. So we're going to see whether or not it's the muscles that are crossing this joint or the muscle that crosses this joint. So to tell whether or not it's the rectus, if I straighten the leg out and it goes down a little bit, which it does, right, Mike? That means that it is more tightness in the rectus femoris. I know this is a little complicated, but very simple. If he pulls up and the knee is bent and the hip goes up, he's got some tightness. We know that. Now, if I straighten the leg out and it goes down, then we know it's the rectus femoris where a lot of the tightness is. If it doesn't go down, it still stays up, then it's the more the iliopsoas or one of the other hip flexors. Psoas major. Is that sort of, I think it's iliopsoas, but psoas major's in there, yeah. Okay, why don't you sit up, Mike? So there's a couple ways you can stretch. One of the ways we like, we just throw the pillow down. I'm going to stretch this side. Just go ahead and keep a very good posture. Very simple one to do. You're going to lean forward and you can see how I'm stretching that hip flexor there.
Kind of like the Tim Tebow prayer.
Is it really? What's he do? Oh yeah. Good point. All right, so we're going to stretch it there, good 30 seconds or so. And another way to stretch, Mike, why don't you show this one? How would you stretch just the rectus itself? There you go. Same thing, good posture. And you're going to go ahead and just give a good pull like that. Sometimes people have trouble doing this one because they don't have enough flexibility. So sometimes you got to start by grabbing the pants or to even get it up there at all. So. All right, that's it. That's how you test your hip flexor. If it is, you want to make sure you stretch it out because tight muscles end up usually being torn muscles quite often. Yes. So, as muscle bound Mike knows. So, what do they call you, by the way, at the one nursing home? Hotness monster. Hotness monster. Isn't that something? All right, thanks a lot.